What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, off rip, this episode was really, really good. Okay, and I did not review last week's episode because last week really did not have much going on, but I will give my opinions throughout this review because I feel like last week's and this past week, everything kind of ties in together. So let's get it started. We got Shamia taking her youngest daughter, Shiloh, to the doctor's office. And her oldest daughter, Shia, was there. So the producer, who I believe is a white woman, asks Shamia, why is her oldest daughter all greased up? And if you don't know, you've never been around black people, raised in a black household, your mom, your grandma, your auntie are always moisturizing our bodies with any kind of oil they can get their hands on. Okay, almond oil, olive oil, coconut oil, shea butter, cocoa butter. That's how we protect our skin. And we always lather us up so good because we never leave the house ashy and dirty. Okay, that's not what we do. All right. So we know that last week, Shamia was a wreck of discovering that her daughter might have gotten sick and she was not in town to help. Because we know that her daughter has a very weak immune system, so she gets sick easily. And shout out to her daughter's pediatrician. She's a black female pediatrician, testing to see if her daughter is under the weather because when Shamia got back from Grenada, she was diagnosed with strep throat. I wonder why, Shamia. All that screaming and hollering you was doing, rubbing oil all over your body during jab jab. Y'all had some X-rated nights with the ladies, which I believe you had a lot of lesbians going on there. So she's hopeful that she did not pass this sickness on to her daughter. Well, where is your mask, ma'am? Why aren't you protective? And I have another question. Why isn't Gerald at the doctor's office? I mean, she did FaceTime him, but he's always on the phone whenever she's at the doctor's office. He for sure wanted to let you know what could have happened to your daughter when you was out of town, got you all worried and stressed out. And when you finally make your way to find out what's wrong with your daughter, he's nowhere to be found. You update him on FaceTime. I feel a way about it. Okay. So we continue on with how Shamia has gone through a lot with Shiloh being born. Okay. Her first year of life, she was at the doctor's offices 3 days a week. And she thinks a lot of people do not understand the emotional journey she's been on. But then it flips to, but my husband's such a great man and he wants a son and I want to give him a son. What do you want, Shamia? As much as I sympathize with your journey, I don't see how much people can understand you more than they need to when you're telling us how much you have to deal with your daughter, and then you go back to, but I want to give my husband a son. Make it make sense, okay? You're putting so much pressure on yourself to give this man a son when you have a lot going on with a child you already have. Knowing that your daughter was born with health complications, she needs constant care, constant attention. Why would you think that you can open that door to have another baby? And then riddle me this though, Shamia. You have a whole village. You have your mom, your husband, your sisters, a nanny, a staff. Like you have a lot of people at your need to help you. But yet you are feeling like you're doing it all by yourself, which I don't understand why. And then didn't you also say that Shia has felt a way about how often you went to the hospital with Shiloh? Felt like you wasn't giving her any attention? Like, can you honestly share your time with 3 kids when you're obviously having trouble with sharing your attention with 2 children, one who's in need of care? And I don't know what else to say to that, Shamia. It's kind of like, I can't feel more sorry for you when you want to put this type of pressure on yourself. Now, we do know that she did interview a potential surrogate, but when she wanted to transfer one of her embryos, the transfer failed. Then her and her husband had a long conversation and they have put off on expanding their family until they come up with a right decision to move forward. Good. Take as long as you need because I need to know what type of time frame are you giving yourself or has Gerald given you? Because at the end of the day, you cannot do this. And I'm sorry to say this though, Shamia, Gerald needs to be happy with the child that was already gifted to him. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying you don't deserve to expand your family. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been nice to expand your family. But look at how much you deal with the one child that needs constant need and attention and care. I don't see how you can split yourself to want to have another baby. Because then again, you're going to stretch yourself out. But moving on from there, I just had to say that. The test came back clear. She does not have strep throat. Very happy for you. And Shiloh is doing amazing. She's sitting up. I love it. She is just so adorable. Okay, so we have Phaedra. We now see a special moment she has with her sons because we see her oldest Aiden and her youngest Mr. President. He is sewing some snakeskin cargos for his new fashion line. I was like, okay, that looks cute. We know that Phaedra is still in the funeral business and she is also a certified Reiki healer. Off rip, I don't want her healing nothing except for how to make a lot of money. Because I do believe that Phaedra has the brightest touch. She's always having her hand in making money. That's what I am always admired about Phaedra. Because her return has not been a monumental return. She did not provide much, but this scene was impressive. Okay. And I love the fact that her son was expressive about wanting to create his own line and having an interest in fashion because she said he wanted to buy a pair of cargos, but they didn't have a pair in his size. So she was like, okay, how about I buy you a sewing machine? You can learn how to make your own pair of cargos. We've seen clips him making some flare joggers, and he's been loving it. He wants to have a warehouse where he can ship his orders. And because her boys are older, she wants to give them the foundation that they can put anything they put their minds into, which I'm all here for, okay? So his oldest brother wants to be his manager and financial advisor because he does have the smarts to make money just like Phaedra. And I applaud Phaedra. She's doing the damn thing. Okay. She wants to make sure that her kids are set up to be a success. I have nothing negative to say about this scene. I love that she's breaking out of that mindset of allowing her boys to express themselves as to what they want to interest in and is what they want to do in life. Because knowing that hearing your son have an interest in fashion from our grandparents' generation is frowned upon because the first thing you hear that your son wants to make dresses is like, oh, he's going to turn out gay. He's fruity. You know what I'm saying? All that and then some. You didn't want your son to play with his little sister's easy bake oven because he's not supposed to enjoy baking. That's not his lane. That's a girl's lane. You're supposed to play with sports and video games and play outside. When we know that there are plenty of successful male designers now. We know that there are male chefs in this world that's dominating the food industry. We know there are male bakers who bakes amazing cakes, creates amazing designs. So I applaud Phaedra for opening that door to be open-minded, for her sons to express any type of interest that they want to be involved in. Gonna have an event this weekend at her showroom, and who she's connected with would love for him to showcase his designs for the fashion show. He was so excited when she told him, and it's a black glove affair. They're gonna showcase all the furs. He said he's going to have all the clothes ready in time. And it was just so cute to see that he had his measurement tape around his neck. Like he is into fashion. He is into it. And I just love it. I love it, love it, love it so much. Okay. Okay. So moving on. We have Kelly. She is getting ready for her divorce hearing. She's ready for this new chapter of her life for her and her girls. We know that the cameras were not allowed in the courtroom, but 4 hours later, she said it was a shit show. They went over their time. They were giving up until noon to make a decision, but they went over it. Now they have a continuance. Back at home, Shamia came by to give her support, and she was shocked to discover that she wasn't divorced. And her ex went to jail that day because he hasn't paid child support. We have heard of him avoiding paying child support. We know he only made a payment because he didn't want to go to jail, but then he has continuously have been late on paying child support. He is literally going through hoops to avoid paying child support for kids that he created. Kelly didn't make these kids by herself, sir. You were the one who laid on top of her, did your business, and created 3 kids. There's a special place in hell for a man like you. You are one slimy son of a bitch. Kelly, I swear, give full custody, change your kid's last name, do not give many visitations, because if this man don't even want to be involved in his kid's life just on general purposes of being a fucking father, then you don't even need his money, okay? Because obviously he is fighting to not give it to you, and it's crazy that He just wants to make your life a living hell. And he's willing to put his daughter in a line of fire for it. Like crazy, 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 crazy. I can't take it. So she has to start court all over again, get cross-examined again. And I'm pretty sure that that has been tiring and stressful, her dealing with this for the past 3 years. I did watch the after show. She revealed that she was finally divorced when the after show got aired. I'm very, very happy for her. She deserves this freedom. But I kid you not, Kelly. I know this was draining for you, but I'm so happy you are over this storm. Okay. I'm so happy. So Angela also called to give her support and check in. Very nice of her. Shamia wanted to express that she was very happy that Angela called to check in. It resonates with her when people call in and check in, and asked Kelly, has she talked to Britt? She said, I have not talked to Britt since Grenada. But for me, though, Kelly, you should know why she hasn't spoken to you. But Kelly says she's disappointed in Britt because she has shown up for her in many ways as a best friend should show up. She rode the storm with her throughout Kenya and everything in between, but she has not reciprocated it. All the flashbacks does prove Kelly's point that Britt has not been a supportive friend. But at the same time, though, Kelly, you switched up on her when it came down to the donations and Grenada. When you purposefully let her get set up because she did not give a proper donation. Now, I know I said it when it came down to you lending your glam team to her in Nashville. And I was like, stop overextending yourself because by the time you need support, Britt is not going to show up for you. And this is proof that she didn't. But we're not going to act like this was something that we knew she was going to automatically do because you set the tone for it to happen. Because I had my intuitions all wrong with assuming that Britt was going to be the downfall of y'all's friendship when it was you. It shocked me to discover you were pretty much the one who provided that distance between you and Britt, all because of how she handled herself with the donations thing for Grenada and the way you co-signed on Shamia's passive aggressiveness towards her, knowing she was talking shit, but because you didn't want to be attached to her anymore, you decided to just allow her to sink and drown without letting her know how you feel. And you've used the glam team, feeling away about the glam team, as well as feeling away about how she didn't get proper donation as your way of saying, I don't want to be around her anymore. I don't want to be full with her anymore. She is not on my level like I thought she was. But instead of you having a real honest conversation with your friend, you just allow for her to be embarrassed because she embarrassed herself all this season. And there's no way anybody could ever believe she actually has a problem. She actually has a reason to be upset because she's created all these issues out of nowhere with other people. That's what you were betting on. So for you to feel disappointed that she did not call and check in on you when she did know you were going through a lot, this was the week you were preparing for court. I can't say you shouldn't feel this way because you have every right to, but let's look at all factors that led to this point. I don't believe you were honest with Britt when y'all had that conversation in Grenada. You just talked around and wanted to say, I just want my friend to show up in her purpose. You weren't being honest. You weren't being clear. So because it's proof you have shown up for her, you thought it would have been nice for her to send a text, but you are ignoring that there was a part of you that she expected to be at her side and you didn't show up. You left her hanging. So because you left her hanging at a time when she thought you would have her back, why would she come and call you and give you support? Even though this has been something you've been dealing with all this season, that one moment is what set the tone. Y'all was in such a great area in y'all friendship that she didn't even think to check in and give you any support. So moving on from there, everybody received invitations to Phaedra's event. We have Kelly once again. She is hosting a cooking event at Williams Sonoma. She is one of their brand ambassadors. She has been partnering with them since 2019. This is her seventh event she's had with them. Shout out to Kelly. I will give Kelly her props. She have capitalized off of elevating her brand the way that she did as a first-time housewife. She has had multiple events for her first season, and that's how you're supposed to do it. Take advantage of the situation. She only offered the invitation to Angela, Drew, and Phaedra because they had such a great time in Grenada, and she wants to continue getting to know them. But I find it interesting, though, Kelly. We are one episode away to the reunion, and you now want to create a better relationship with Drew and Angela when you spent the entire season having issues with them off of other people's problems with them? You follow Shamia over her issues with Drew. You claim that Drew had a whole bunch of issues with everybody else, but yet didn't understand what they were. You follow behind Britt with her problem with Angela. Like, I don't know. It's weird that all of a sudden you want to now move forward and have a better relationship. There's an end goal in this. This is all to make sure you are leaving the season with allies. Since you're not moving forward with your friendship with Britt, that's clear. You have a great relationship with Shamia. You need to make sure you have other people saying good things about you when you're going on to the next season. A lot of people can read off as you being a social climber. Not to say you don't have any status of your own, but the way you maneuvered your time on this show, how you wait until the last moment to switch up on somebody who you came on the show with to be cool with the other ladies, got to keep an eye out for you. All I'm gonna say is this though, Kelly, it's a bit iffy, it's a bit weird that I'm not fully trusting on the way that you moved and maneuvered on getting to this point. But moving on. It was also nice for Angela to offer Charles to be a part of this event so they can have their own cooking competition. We all know Charles is a man who's all about food. He loves to cook. Kelly wanted to cheat. Okay, she wanted to use a team to do the cooking for her. And it's like, girl, no. Since this is your brand, your business, you should be the one doing the work in the kitchen. But it's proven to me that Kelly don't do nothing in the kitchen. She just makes sure she hires the best people to do all the work for her. So while they're preparing everything, Angela asked Kelly, "How has it been with you and Britt? Are you guys good?" She said, "I have not spoken to Britt since Grenada." Everybody was like, "What? Aren't y'all best friends?" "We are very, very best friends, but you haven't spoken to her. Is that normal that you guys have not spoken in a while?" She was like, "It's normal. It's all good." But Kelly's being awkward. She's being fake. She's not being real about her feelings that she has felt the way about Britt not showing up for her. And to me, though, Kelly, sometimes the way you smile and pretend everything is all good, but yet you blow up later, that's something you need to work on within yourself. All right, so at the same time of Kelly's event, we pan over to Britt. We now know Britt was not invited to this event, but she is taking Phaedra's advice on inviting these ladies to her home, meaning Cynthia and Portia, because she wants to show up and make an effort to move forward with these ladies. Kudos. Congratulations, Britt. Don't know why you waited until the second to last episode to show us that side of you, but okay. They were very happy that they got an invite to see Britt's home, be invited to her home. We know Britt's home has been under construction, under renovation. One side is covered in plastic tarp, the other side is a cluttered mess. So when they went down to the basement, which was very nicely decorated, Britt was discussing how everybody had a good time in Grenada. I have felt relaxed, I feel refreshed, but Britt opens the door to talk about her and Kelly was in a bit of a situation that was happening outside of the group. They know that Kelly and Britt have been sharing a glam team, but Kelly has told her glam team she doesn't want them working with Britt. They were like, "What? Really? How long has she been feeling this type of way?" Obviously, she's been feeling this type of way since Nashville because Britt have said maybe she felt like her team was giving me more attention than her, and maybe she felt like she was getting the short end of the stick, and how my looks were better than hers. I mean, when they did the side by side comparison, y'all pretty much was dressed the same, but Kelly is shorter in a different shape than Britt. Britt has other styles that fits her better than Kelly's. But again, Kelly, I feel like you shouldn't have offered your team. If they were going to enjoy working with her, you can't demand who they can and cannot work with. You're not the only people who hires them. And you should have also have told Britt how it made you feel that they were spending all their time with her. Or if you feel like your time with them was cut short because they spend majority of the time with Britt. Hello, communication. And Portia said, listen, when it comes to sharing a glam team, there should be no jealousy. And I have to agree. And Britt wasn't lying when she said about Kelly telling her team not to work with her because Kelly mentioned in her confessional because she is going down the list of Britt using every single person on her team, down to her videographer, her photographer, her makeup artist. It's given to me, you're not that girl. But it's also given to me, though, Kelly, you wanted to be known that she wasn't that girl. That's why you went above and beyond to lend her your glam team, because you wanted to showcase you are that girl that can have a glam team on standby. Give somebody else who doesn't have it a taste of what it could look like, a taste of what it could feel like. But in the end, you felt jealous. You felt envious. I'm sorry that could have been the case and you never expressed it. So Portia said, when it comes to sharing the same glam team, there should be no jealousy, and I have to agree. If you are somebody who's not territorial or possessive over things you have, the things you're connected to, because you want everybody to get a piece of the pie, then that's different. I mean, because it's like this: if you're not somebody who has a problem with sharing, then it shouldn't have been an issue. But to me, Kelly describes me as the type of person who shares for the sake of it benefiting her in the long run. So Britt wanted to be a bit messy to discover that it's not good for your team to work with me, but apparently you're giving the opportunity for your stylist to work with Shamia. If it's true, thank the Lord. Somebody needs to fix Shamia's tacky styles. So does it apply for everybody, or are the rules different because it's Shamia instead of Britt? That could be the case too, because Shamia has the status, she has the means, but we don't know for sure if she was actually working with Kelly Stylist, because Shamia came out instantly after that episode aired and denied that she has ever worked with Kelly Stylist. It's not really given to me that Britt's lying, more so not really telling the whole truth. Maybe there was a situation that Shamia was there to witness Kelly get styled, and maybe the other stylists just looked at Shamia, wanted to give her options for a piece. Who knows, right? So it gets confusing right here, because we are one talking about Kelly and Britt's friendship, and then Britt decides to flip it and make it about Shamia and Portia, because she wants to say, well, I don't know if you are aware of this, but there have been times where there have been sidebar conversations between Shamia, me, and Kelly, and it's been about you, meaning Portia. She was like, what are you talking about? When this happened? Britt's mentioning a time when she was at Shamia's house and there were text messages being shown between her and Portia. Now, I don't believe that Shamia showed Britt messages between her and Portia. Do I believe that she probably showed messages between her and Portia to Kelly, and Kelly probably gave Britt like a synopsis about what was going on? Yes, that I believe. And Britt's like, I'm not trying to get into the middle of it, but she told me that your attorney told you this is a rough time for you while dealing with your divorce. You need to make sure you take time out for yourself. And Portia corrected her and was like, it wasn't my attorney, it was my therapist. So in her confessional, she repeated that it was her therapist who told her she needs to focus on herself, and that she spoke about this in confidence with her best friend. So for my best friend to be repeating what I was telling her for my therapy session, that's crossing the line and that's fucked up. And I have to agree, it is fucked up. Do I believe Britt's lying her? Because it's been proven that Shamia has had conversations with other people in regards to her friendship with Portia. We have seen Shamia lie that she doesn't talk about Portia with the other ladies when we know that she does. And Portia and Shamia did have a conversation about bettering their friendship, not letting anything get between them. So Portia was like, listen, do what's best for you. Meaning she wasn't going to take the bait that Britt was obviously setting her up to take, because she wants to now put a wedge between Shamia and Portia, because she's in a not so good space with Kelly, because Shameen has not replaced Britt. So now she's trying to be messy. She's trying to start some fire. And it's like, Britt, you should have said this sooner. I don't know if Britt didn't think she would have been received if she said it. Maybe she could have said it when they were in Grenada, but maybe she didn't have nobody on her side that would have defended her the way that, Shamia likes to be passive aggressive and wants an audience to defend her case. So it's out of nowhere what Britt did, and it's lame that you decide to be vindictive and want to now spread that negative energy onto somebody else's friendship because you're in this bad space with Kelly. That's not cool. Don't like that. Britt is on mad day energy. All right. But at the same time, we're back with Kelly, and she's cooking with Charles, and they were making simple chicken and waffles with banana Foster's toppings. Now, when they presented the food, they wanted to give Kelly a tie, because I think they enjoyed Charles's food more than Kelly's. And at the same time this was going on, a mysterious man pulls up to Angela and he was like, "Hi, Angela. You don't know me, but can I talk to you off camera about something? It's important." She was like, "Do I know you?" "No, you don't know me, but I know your husband. He comes to my restaurant a lot." This whole situation was weird. And I was paying very close attention when I got to this part because he was already in the scene, sitting way in the back. And all of a sudden, he pops up and he goes directly to Angela. Super awkward, super weird. She just randomly approach her. He introduces himself as Marcus, and he's literally trying to make a moment to be seen on camera and brag about information about somebody else's husband. Like he's just dying to tell her about the news he has about Charles. And Angela was like, "Who are you? What gave you the license to think you can come and speak to me?" Which I was all here for. And the way that he was just dragging out that he has so much tea to spill, it was so random and so weird. They were like, "We don't like that. You can go away." How is it that this man was able to get close to her? As if this was something that was already set up, because the ladies definitely didn't know, but somebody in production knew that this man was going to approach Angela. Because either he was mic'd up or not, we heard what he was saying very clearly. Because he knew where the cameras were and he knew who he wanted to talk to. Not cool, not cool. So Kelly goes over to her team to toast to a great event, and that guy Marcus is standing next to her, bragging in the toast by saying, "If your name is Angela and you got tea about her husband cheating on her, cheers." It was very loud. The ladies definitely heard him, but Charles did not hear him. Either Charles was hearing the sizzling over the stove, or he was so lost in cooking he didn't hear him, because it would have been a whole different situation if he heard what he said. Like, I don't want to say this, but this 65 Tweety Bird wanted to come on here, make a moment like we were just dying to have this information. Like, y'all keep on playing on Angela's top, and it's pissing me off. Why y'all trying to put this narrative out there that her husband's cheating on her so bad? Y'all had to make something like this happen. Like, I don't like that. That shit was so unnecessary. Like, y'all trying to set these moments up for no reason, and it's not cool. Stop. Not every husband is a cheater. This is why not a lot of husbands want to be a part of the show, because there's going to be somebody who wants to be paid to have a moment on the show to say, "I got tea on your husband. I got tea about him cheating. There's a side baby in the mix." Like, stop. Because some husbands are not to be played with like this. Stop, stop, stop. So, of course, while he was doing the most, Kelly had her security escort him out. It was laughable to me because in their confessionals, they were asking Phaedra, "Do you have any inkling that this guy is telling the truth?" She's like, "I don't know what he might say. I mean, I don't be involved in people's business. Okay, that's not my religion." Phaedra, shut your lying ass up. This got you written all over it. I guarantee you, Phaedra has something to do with it, because what has Phaedra has been on this entire time she's been back on the show? Constantly talking about, "I didn't know Charles was married. I didn't even know. I knew him from back in the day. He was a life of the party. So it was surprising to me that he was married. I'm not sure what he does." And Angela, she's just the oldest, youngest looking woman here. And she has so many questions. So I don't know what's going on. Da, 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 da. Like, she has been all over Charles and Angela's situation since she came back on the show. Who else would have motive to want to set this up? Phaedra. Okay. So of course, Angela's trying to hold it together and not make a scene, because this was so out of left field. We don't want to repeat a Madison Square Garden. And we know that Charles don't tolerate disrespect. And he definitely would have flipped his lid if he would have heard him. Kelly wanted to let her Kelly wanted to let Angela know that this guy was removed. I do not tolerate that. I don't want that around me. I want people who are around me to be in a safe environment. In her confessional, she says she don't know who this guy is. He's no friend to her. Even though her and Angela have not been on the best term, she don't tolerate disrespect. Okay, Kelly. But it's very interesting though, because you was towing that line of adding into that narrative that he might have had a side baby. But I guess you're changing up now. You don't want to follow behind Britt no more. You're now trying to be in a better space, I guess. So, as usual, the one person who says, "I don't want to be in people's business, that's not my religion," was about to trip over her own feet and break her neck to run into the car to tell Portia about what just happened. And I'm talking about Phaedra. Okay. She was like, "Girl, hold on to your panties. I got the tea." Okay. So we got Kelly's cooking event, right? And some man pulls up to Angela and it's like, "Girl, I got something to tell you. Your man is cheating. Now, all three of them, Cynthia, Britt, and Portia, was all shocked, right? And it was like, did Angela know this man? She said she don't know him. But apparently, he was all bragging about how much tea he got, but Charles didn't hear him. So I need to get out of here before somebody give me a prophecy. Phaedra, shut your lying ass up. Okay, like for somebody who don't want to be involved in other people's business and don't want to see marriages break apart, you sure be happy to give your 2 cents in when you don't want nobody else doing it to you. Can't, Phaedra. Can't not to be trusted. But then we are moving on. Okay, we are now at Phaedra's Black Glove Affair. She's getting prepared for her event and she receives a call from Portia. This is where we discover when cousin Londi officially passed. Rest in power, Londi. I was so saddened when the news broke out that she passed. She was such a sweet person. I loved her on Portia's Family Matters. And when Portia was on the phone telling Phaedra about Londi passing, it felt like Portia was not as emotional as I thought she would have been. I'm not saying she needed to be breaking down crying and we can't understand what she's saying because she is full of grief, but Portia's eyes was just dead. Like she didn't have no emotion behind her cousin passing. Like it probably hasn't hit her yet, but it was just interesting to see how she had no emotion. And in her confessional, Lana did a lot for Portia. She did a lot for her grandfather's foundation. She was a part of the season. We saw her early on doing the Pamper by Portia event. Oh, I was so saddened by the news. So Phaedra tells her my condolences and that she will not be able to make it to the event. Phaedra understood. Be here to support you if you need us. So while everyone is arriving, the ladies were giving us a specific time to show up because this isn't just a private event for them. This is also showcasing close to and very important clients. And Phaedra, the way you've been clocking on everybody else's body parts and all this and that and the third, we did not need to see the back of your ass because you gave us all back and crack, coochie crack. Okay, nice bag, but we didn't need to see all that. Okay, this supposed to be a classy event. You're not giving classy, ma'am. So Kelly came in, and the first thing Phaedra wants to do is zoom in and grab her titties. It's giving Little Kim. That's assault, ma'am. Did she give you consent to touch her in that way? And then when she was introducing Kelly to somebody else, she was like, "This is strawberry shortcake. She's like a little brownie." Phaedra, you were always referring to Kelly as some type of dessert, strawberry shortcake. Now she a little brownie. Do you want to bite some of her brownie? Do you want to eat her strawberry shortcake? I'm telling you right now, Kelly, don't stand too close to her. Don't leave your drink around her. She'll have you tied up in the basement. You know she has a fetish for little people. Mm-hmm. The rest of the ladies started to arrive. They all look fabulous. Okay. And even Shamia, she looked good. She was dressed for the occasion. She pointed out where Kelly's security was, and Angela was like, maybe I need security. She was like, for what? Why? So, but what happened at Kelly's event? Some man approached me saying that he has information to share with me. Do you know him? I don't know him from a can of paint. He don't know me, but he said he knows my husband, which is interesting. Britt arrived and Kelly knew that Britt had come in, and Britt looked amazing. I ain't gonna hold you. I loved her outfit. I loved her hair. The bob was bobbing, okay? And it was such an awkward moment between Kelly and Angela because Angela looked at the camera and is like, please catch this. They do not have a good relationship right now. There is tension between the two of them, and this is not what best friends are supposed to be towards one another. So when she gave everybody a hug, Britt said, "Hi, Kelly." She said it twice. We can see that Kelly was feeling some type of way. It's all over her face. Kelly was pissed. So while she's not addressing her, she is in her confessional talking about, girl, I have done a lot for you. I brought an IV therapist to your home, but you have not checked on me and my girls. You didn't send a flower. You didn't send a text. You didn't send nothing. No, I'm sorry. No, Kelly is saying that this is all over Glam and this is not my friend. If you treated me like this all because of Glam. I'm like, well, Kelly, you made it about Glam. You have not told her how you have not felt supported by her. And when you told your team not to work with her, that's when you made about glam. You were not honest enough front about how you feel towards your friendship with Britt, and you've been using other instances to escape having that conversation. So while feeling this energy from Kelly, Britt is like, it didn't have to go to this point. If you told me how you felt initially about me using your glam squad, we could have talked about it. We could have moved on from it. But hey, you didn't want to, so it is what it is. And I can't get mad at Britt for feeling that way because Kelly, you have been the one holding all of this in and you have not addressed it. You have not expressed it. So who can know how you feel when you are creating problems about something else when that's not the real issue? So Phaedra's giving the girls a time warning that the presentation is going to be starting soon. She did receive a message from Drew that she will be running a bit late. And we are continuing on with what transpired at Williams Sonoma. Kelly is saying that her event was open to the public, so it allowed for anybody to come in, which needs to be figured out because while this is a open event, everybody knows when they are filming a scene for a show, they know not to come into the scene where the ladies are having their scene. They know not to come in that way. They know how to be mindful of the cameras, the boom mics, and everything to not come into that moment. This man was welcomed in to be a part of that moment. So Angela did her research to discover who that person was. She found out through some people, and her people paid this man a visit, and he told her people that he was paid to be there. Who paid him? Angela said he gave them a description of the man who told him to come to that event. That's interesting. Drew started to walk up the stairs to enter in the building, but the doors was closed. She came 15 minutes late, and now she has to wait outside. I would be pissed. So pissed. So Angela is back in the showroom wondering how this could have happened. He took the time to come a little on me to give me this information. Kelly being loud and aggressive, passive aggressive, mind you, to say, I wonder who paid him. Maybe to the people that don't show up. Once she said that, it was an insinuation that Britt had something to do with it, along with her not addressing her real issues with Britt. Because you selected certain people to come to your event, now you want to place blame on other people having something to do with Angela being set up with that information. And Britt is the first person you're thinking about. That's not cool, Kelly. That's not nice. You wouldn't want anybody to insinuate you had something to do with something that you had no business knowing about. Britt was like, well, we were all at my house. She was like, who's we? Cynthia was there and Portia was there. Kelly got more loud and was more passive aggressive. It was like, oh, really? She invited you to her house? Oh, wow. Britt was like, you can address me. I know that's difficult for you. Kelly said, it's not difficult. It seems like it is, Kelly, because you are talking to everybody else but her, but you are addressing all of these passive aggressive digs at her. Like at the end of the day, though, Kelly, you were being extreme passive aggressive. You were throwing jabs at her, and you weren't addressing her of what your real problem was. I mean, Britt was clocking the fact that Kelly was being passive aggressive, and she was. She said, "I'm not passive aggressive. I'm aggressive. Not cute." Is she supposed to be afraid of that? And then, of course, Britt was like, "I've never seen you be aggressive," and this is what Britt has done. When she's ready to go back and forth with somebody, she's always walking up a little bit closer to them, like she's ready to fight. Cynthia ready to not let her get close to Kelly. Kelly's like, don't play with me. She's like, what do you mean? Are you the big bad wolf? She said, no, I'm the mighty wolf. She's like, oh, it's cute. It's cute. Kelly, you should not have engaged with Britt if you didn't want to have this conversation. If you felt the way about her not showing up for you, you should have paid her dust and not said nothing. But you wanted to have a back and forth with her, so she gave you the same energy. I mean, Britt and Kelly were going back and forth. Britt called Kelly insecure. Kelly fired back with saying, I'm insecure, but you want to use my team. Britt said, yeah, the team that you begged me to work with because you needed a sidekick. I don't know, Kelly. It's given you always need somebody on your team for something. And Kelly walked away. I didn't see Britt move 1 inch. I didn't see her elevate her voice at all. Kelly was all over the place, bobbing and weaving. So Britt was like, listen, long story short, she felt second in Nashville when it came down to us sharing the same glam team, even though it was her idea to share a glam team. Of course, Kelly's walking away, but yelling across the room, "You wanted to use my team. Yeah, the team you said I can use." And I feel like this is so fucking dumb. You are, but at the same time, though, Kelly, you offered your team. So as much as you say she wanted to use my team, you offered it to her. You made it a point where she could feel like she can use your team whenever she wanted to. You didn't give any stipulations or any do's and don'ts. You didn't say any of that. Now, while Britt was dismissing Kelly, Phaedra got in the middle. Kelly walked up to Phaedra and said, "You better talk to your pill popping roommate." Now, when the trailer was first aired, I thought it was Kelly talking about Britt's husband being the pill popper and the roommate. That would have been a low blow anyway. But for Kelly to tell Phaedra, "You get your pill popping roommate," I was like, okay, that's new. And then I'm like, roommate? Oh, because they were roomies in Grenada. That makes sense. Phaedra was like, "She didn't give me nothing but an Advil PM. What pill she got?" Kelly did call Britt a hoe throughout that whole exchange. And Britt was like, "Listen, if you want to respect me, you'll get respect. But disrespect me, I'm gonna let the whole clip out. Let the whole clip out, Britt. Let it out." Britt said, "I mean, the stylist said you look a mess. So girl, keep it up." And then Britt said this. "Unless you want to talk about all of those unalivings you had when you was married." I was like, ooh. Now, while she said that, Kelly was pulled back by security. "Bitch, you can't even have a kid. She's a hoe. You want to be me, bitch." Britt said, "Nobody wants to be you, little hobbit." Ooh, that made me scream so loud because that was funny. She hit her with that match point. So while Kelly is so loud and demanding for her security to take her out, it was like, "Don't play games with me. I'm not the one you want to play with." Now Shamia wants to address Britt to tell her, "Okay, see, listen, remember how you felt about the King situation, how you can't go below the belt. You can't mention abortions, okay? You can't do that." But like Britt said, she called me a pill popper. What am I supposed to do? So I wanted Shamia to sit back. You can't tell anybody how to hit you if you're not going to expect to be hit back. When you're fighting, you go jab for jab. Let's go round for round. Let's go lick for lick. Okay? So Shamia, sit back. Let's not forget, you went back and forth with Drew and Angela, and you didn't like the way they came at you because you couldn't handle what they said about you. Miss me. Now, it's telling at times when you're the last person in the room, when something got revealed is given, it could be the truth. As far as trying to calm Kelly down, she didn't want to use her inside voice. She wanted to still be loud. She defended herself in her confessional to say, "I had my tubes tied after I had my twins. I couldn't make a baby even if I wanted to." Okay, it's your body, it's your choice. I am all the way agreeing that I'm pro-choice. Okay, but could there have been a time before the twins you might have had an accident? I'm not saying babies are accident, but I'm just saying, could there have been a situation you didn't want to get yourself involved in? I'm just asking. Just asking. Now, let's dive into the who was right, the who was wrong. Me, Kelly had the energy off rip to go at it with Britt. She was already passive aggressive. She was already throwing digs and accusations towards her, along with the pill popping comment. A lot of people in the comment section were like, "Ooh, Britt went low. How could Britt go so low?" There's no rules when you want to go toe to toe with somebody and we go to the depths of hell. You want to take it there, we can take it there. I'm aware. If you have a moral compass to not take it there with somebody, you don't have to. But how many times are you going to get pushed into that point where you're going to now empty the clip to say how you feel about somebody, right? But then again, it's also telling me y'all two weren't friends if y'all can come out and speak about each other like this. So we calmed everything down. The presentation have started. We see all the models coming out. Shout out to Jessica White. She looked gorgeous. Shout out to Derek Blanks. He was fine as hell wearing all these luxurious fur coats. Drew was waiting over 45 minutes outside, all dressed up. The security guard offered her a chicken wing. Very nice, very sweet. Finally, once all of the fur coats were revealed, Drew was able to walk inside. You're not going to have me standing outside for 45 minutes in heels. Because Phaedra, you all about there's a specific time you need to be here. This is a classy event, girl. It wasn't nothing classy about seeing Kelly and Britt go back and forth throwing slugs at one another. You could have at least let the doors open a little bit more for Britt, for Drew to come in. leaving her outside for over 45 minutes. That wasn't right. That wasn't cool. So once Drew was able to come in, she was able to watch Dylan present his clothes. He looks good. His brother looked good. And they said that their orders are available for pre-sale on their website. I think the website is called thestararchives.com. I did look it up, y'all. Damn pants is over $100 each. I'm straight. Happy I got a website, but I will not be supporting. Anyway, she is so proud of her boys, happy to give them the tools they can grow up in this world and be successful with whatever they want to do. And she got emotional. I almost shed a tear because I know that Phaedra is very proud of how she's raising her boys, and she should be proud. She's doing an excellent job. So everybody was trying on little mink coats, high ass price coats. I don't think I want fur that bad. I think I would want a mink rug. That's what it will be. My luxurious item to have is a mink rug. That's what I would want. So Shamia pulls Britt to the side and tells her, listen, you know that this case has been hard on Kelly. Why didn't you reach out? Britt said, I'm not gonna be fake. I mean, I'm finding out that she's been talking about me to everybody else and not me. I'm not gonna call you. That's me being a real ass bitch. You can address me that we got a problem, but you can speak to everybody else about how you got a problem with me. Then I'm not going to call you. I'm not going to check on you. I can't disagree with Britt's logic because that's not cool to do. You can't address me like a grown ass woman and tell me that you got a problem with me. We can fix it. If not, I ain't checking on you for shit. Even if I care about what you have going on, even if I know what you have going on, it's a lot. I'm not gonna be fake and be like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this. While I know you're talking shit about me, no, ma'am. Even though sending a text would have been the least Britt can do. But so Phaedra got the ladies together to discuss why Portia wasn't able to make it to her event. Now Phaedra says both me and Shamia are aware of this. Shamia's face looked confused about what are we aware of. That Portia's cousin Londi has suddenly passed. When the news got revealed, you can see the shock on Shamia's face. This was her first time hearing of Londi's passing, which is surprising because you and Portia are best friends. Why wouldn't she call you and tell you about her cousin passing? You had more of a closer relationship with Portia as well as other members of her family than Phaedra do. So that's telling. So of course, while Shamia was definitely saddened by the news of Londi passing, I think she was also crying that she wasn't there to hear about it first from Portia and to know that Phaedra knew. And I think Phaedra took that opportunity to one throw in Shamia's face that she knew something about Portia that she didn't know about Portia. That ain't right. Not at all. But it is telling though, Shamia, that she wouldn't let you know about this. That's not a best friend. But that was pretty much the end of the episode. And this was a good episode, like I said before. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. Next week is the season finale. I cannot wait. Come to find out, Angela will meet up with this mysterious man to hear information about Charles cheating and all that and then some. So I can't wait for that. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.